Hello students, welcome to the MCQ series. So today we will discuss some questions which is from the field of soil physics. So let's start the class. First question, it is a very important question, that is, who is the father of soil physics? So options are Tocqueville, Daniel Hillel, Thomas Way, and Richard. So I think you all know this answer. It is none other than Hillel. So option B is correct. So next question, which of the following is or are primary particles? We have studied what are the primary particles in the soil texture class, that video. So options are sand, silt, clay, all of the above. Which is the answer? D. All of the above. Sand, silt and clay are primary particles. Okay. Next question. Sand, silt and clay are collectively called as option A, soil separates, soil fractions, fine earth. Option D, all of the above. So we know that sand, silt and clay are in the previous question, these are the primary particles. So other name of what we call them as together. So option D is the correct answer. Soil separates, soil fraction, fine earth. We will call these as soil separates, soil fraction or fine earth. Let's go to the next question. Theory of clay particle was given by. So let's look the options: Hillel, Robinson, Russell and Robert. The correct answer is option C, Russell. Option C, Russell. Next question. The relative proportion of sand, silt and clay is called. Option A, soil porosity, soil structure, soil texture, soil plasticity. So here the question is relative proportion. How much amount like it is present in soil? How much amount of primary particles? Its proportion. What we will call them? It is not soil structure, but it is option C, soil texture. Okay, so the correct answer is option C. Next, it is a sentence type question. So first we have to read this sentence. Choose the correct statement. These sentence type questions are common in JRF and SRF exam. So you should be thoroughly, you should read it and understand the concepts in each sentence and like think very well while answering such type of statement questions. So first statement, fertilization and irrigation are less frequent in clay soil than in sandy soil. Maize cannot be grown well in clay soil because the crop requires good aeration. Crops like paddy cannot be grown in sandy soil. So let's look the options, or just by looking at the sentence itself, we can come to the answer. Okay, so look at the first statement. Fertilization and irrigation are less frequent in clay soil than in sandy soil. So what is the importance, or what is the peculiarity of clay soil? Clay soil can retain more water. When we apply water, when we irrigate or when we apply any fertilizer into clay soil, it will be retained or it will stay in the soil itself. But in the case of sandy soil, it will allow the movement of water, or it cannot hold whatever the nutrients or water we apply, because of the nature of sandy soil. Sandy soil is like that because of the presence of more pore, macro pore. You all have already studied that, so that I am not going into the deep. So sandy soil cannot hold it. So what is in this sentence? Fertilization and irrigation are less frequent in clay soil. So less frequent means we don't want to apply fertilizer or irrigate the soil daily, or less frequent. You understood. So in clay soil, fertilization and irrigation are less frequent, that sentence is correct. The next sentence, maize cannot be grown well in clay soil because the crop requires good aeration. So if in this sentence one statement is given and its reason is also given. So maize actually it is a crop that requires good aeration for its growth. So in clay soil, what is the peculiarity? Aeration, drainage, these all are restricted. So we can't grow maize in clay soil. So if in the exam, if this first sentence is given, that means maize cannot be grown well in clay soil, you have to think or you have to understand that maize is a crop which should be grown in a soil which have good aeration. Okay, so second statement is also correct. And third sentence, crops like paddy cannot be grown well in sandy soil. So what about this sentence? Can we grow paddy in sandy soil? What is the peculiarity of sandy soil? We have already seen in the first sentence, fertilization and irrigation is less frequent in clay soil. Why? But because it will return more water. But in sandy soil, we have to apply it frequently. More often we have to apply fertilizer and do irrigation in sandy soil because it cannot return water. So if paddy, what about paddy? What is the growth condition, or in which soil, in which condition we can grow paddy? There is paddy should be grown in waterlogged soil, is it? Because it requires a submerged condition for its growth throughout the growth period, or up to the you can say up to the flowering stage, or like that. Okay, so in sandy soil, can we see a waterlogged condition in any sandy soil? No, because it can't retain water. Water will percolate it through the sandy soil very fast. So you can say that paddy cannot be grown in well in sandy soil. So this sentence is also correct. So look at the options. Only one is correct. 1 and 3 is correct. 1 and 2 are correct. All sentences are correct. So the correct option is option D. All sentences are correct. So this is you have to see. These sentences are directly taken from the fundamentals of soil science. So you have to read the book thoroughly. But if you practice the questions that I give, you don't want to read the fundamentals of soil science, because I have covered all the important sentences that should be asked in the exam from that fundamentals of soil science. So we can go to the next question. The basic property of soil that cannot be changed. I think this question I have put as a post. So many have answered correct. Some have answered some other options. So let's look the options. Option A, porosity. Option B, structure. Option C, texture. Option D, bulk density. What is the correct option? Correct option is option option C. Option C. So why option C? Because texture is the relative proportion of sand, silt and clay. Okay, so we can't change that relative proportion. We can't separate clay particles from the soil and remove it, or we can't separate sand particles and remove it to change their relative proportion. So we can't change the texture, but porosity we can change through many cultural practices, or to increase the porosity of clay or sandy soil. What we have to do? Add some clay particles, or we can also change structure through many tillage practices. Then there are so many like cover cropping, addition of organic matter. Like we can improve the soil structure. But what about bulk density? Bulk density also we can change. To decrease the bulk density, we can add more organic matter like that. So texture, but we can't change. It is a basic property. Okay. Then coming to the next question. Which of the following physical property can be easily changed? So options are particle density, porosity, bulk density, and temperature. So here the correct option is option D. Porosity we can easily change. Okay. The next question. Factor that mainly influences the soil texture. Option climate, parent material, vegetation, and time. Which is the correct option? Option B is the correct option. Parent material is a factor that mainly influences the soil texture. Okay, this sentence it is an important sentence, like in that book, soil fundamentals of soil science. Parent material is the main factor that influences the soil texture. Climate, vegetation, and time also plays, but most importantly, parent material will influence the soil texture. Coming to the next question. Skeleton of soil. Option A sand, option B silt, option C clay, option D both A and B. Skeleton of soil, which is that option A is the correct. Is it? No. Option is it option A or option B or option C? It is option A and also option B. Sand and silt are known as a skeleton of soil. So option D is the correct answer. Then next, flesh of the soil. Option A sand, silt, clay, both A and B. Which is a we already know sand and silt are the skeleton of the soil. So option C will be the correct answer. Option C, clay is the flesh of the soil. And widely used system for classification of soil particles. Options ISS, IUSS, USDA, all of the above. So here option D is the correct, all of the above. Static property affecting all other soil properties. Option A soil texture, option B soil structure, option C soil aeration, option D soil temperature. So which is a static property? So static property means it is a property that will not change easily. So which is the correct option? Option A soil texture. So soil texture is the static property that affects all other soil property. Then a static property among the following is option bulk density, particle density, then water holding capacity, intrinsic permeability. So which is the correct option? Option B, particle density is a static property among the following. So particle density means how much particles of soil are present in the when we consider the soil as a whole, like excluding the porosity or pore space, how much particles are present per unit volume of the soil, that is a particle density. So it is a static property, it can't change, it will not change. If we include pore space, then we can it will be changed. There will be some dynamics, like bulk density is not a static property. Water holding capacity we can change, or intrinsic permeability. Permeability means the capacity, or it is a like in simple words, permeability means how easily water or any other substance move through the soil. So permeability is it is related to, or it is directly related to the porosity. So we can also change permeability. Okay, so particle density is a static property. Next question, analytical procedure for determining the sand, silt and clay contents in a soil sample where the particles are separated into various size groups from sand, silt and clay is called. So here this question is about which is a procedure in which we will separate the whole soil particles into sand, silt and clay. After that we will measure or we will quantify the amount of sand, silt and clay. On the basis we will determine the sand, silt, clay contents in the soil sample. So which is the correct option? Mechanical analysis, sieving, sedimentation, deflocculation. So option A is the correct answer. Mechanical analysis is an analytical procedure for determining sand, silt and clay contents in a soil sample where the particles are separated into various size groups from sand, silt and clay. So this you can watch in that video. I have dealt with this in detail. You can watch that video. Finer soil particles are quantitatively determined by option sieving, sedimentation, then deflocculation and picnometer. So finer soil particles, that means clay, something like that, which have less size, small size. So how we can determine them quantitatively, that means their amount. Option B is the correct. Sedimentation through this sedimentation process. So this sedimentation is a procedure in which we can determine the finer soil particles. Is it? So by sieving we can separate and quantitatively determine only large sized particles. Deflocculation and picnometer also, in that also we can we cannot determine finer soil particles. Depth of cultivated soil. Options 5 cm, 15, 20 and 30 cm. So depth, there is a standard depth for the cultivated soil. Up to that depth we can plow or till very easily. So which is the correct option? Option B is the correct option. 15 cm is the depth of cultivated soil. And next question, physical condition of soil in relation to plant growth. Options tillage, zero tillage, tilth, minimum tillage. Option C is the correct answer. Tilth is the physical condition of soil in relation to the plant growth. Tillage, zero tillage, minimum tillage, that are related to the practice of tilling. Is it? So what we will call the physical condition of soil in relation to plant growth is tilth. We can say the soil has a good tilth, bad tilth, like that. That means good tilth means its physical condition for the plant growth. It will be very favorable for the plant growth. Good tilth will be good. Soil having good tilth is very good for the plant growth. The texture can be determined by options Boyko's hydrometer, international pipette, field method, and all of the above. So soil texture, how we can determine the soil texture? So options is all of the above. We can determine the soil texture by using Boyko's hydrometer method, international pipette method, field method. I also have described about this in my previous lecture, soil texture. Okay, you can watch it. Next, the method for analyzing the soil texture and field condition. Options sieving method, mechanical analysis, field method, Atterberg apparatus. So in field condition, so when we go to field, how we can analyze the soil texture? So options sieving method, mechanical analysis, feeling method and Atterberg apparatus. Which is the correct answer? When we are in field, we can't take some instruments to field. It will be very difficult. So what we have with us, we have one hand. We can touch the soil and feel it. By feeling, we can know the soil texture. So option C is the correct answer. Field method. So in field condition, method for analyzing the soil texture is field method. So we can stop here. Just analyze the all questions and see you in the next video. It will be continued till some 50 or 60 questions. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone.